Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Touching You Talk Show. This is Elder Sheila, and I have a very special guest with me today in the person of Ameenah Montgomery. How are you today, ma'am?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you for bringing me in, and thank you for
Yeah.
introducing me.
So, how long have we known each other? That's what I normally ask people.
Sheila, actually, when we met, it was so cool. We were actually at our baby's track meet. Yeah, so I met you, and we just sort of merged our personalities. I had something to offer, you had something to offer. And so even that few minutes that we were together, you were able to share with me and I was able to share with you. And that was one of the first things you asked me. You said, Amina, you want to be on the show? So I was like, sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Whenever I meet somebody interesting, I'm like, okay, this is somebody I need to talk to.
That's
So,
right.
Mother's Day is coming up, so we want to look beautiful, number one. Number two is going forward. Hair is just something that is so important these days. And oftentimes people are wearing, sew ins and wigs and all of that. But it's okay if you're not and you want to have healthy hair. So tonight we're going to talk about, your expertise. How can we keep our hair healthy? What can we do? What are some of the things that break our hair out that we don't even know is doing it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So first of all, tell me about you. Where are you from?
Actually, my brother and I, we were both born and raised in Houston, Texas. And around the year 2007, I came here and I loved it in North Arlington. The population in Houston is so heavy now. And so I was running from that population. But unfortunately, that population, it is running this way now. But I love the city of Arlington, Texas. It's small. I love the fact that you can commute to Grand Prairie, Fort Worth, all within 20 minutes. Houston is so vast, it's so big.
Hmm.
So I love it here. Unlike the last few days, it doesn't rain much. It rains a lot in Houston. So that's one thing I love about North Texas and
Yeah.
Arlington, Texas. They call Arlington, Texas the fun city. And I love being a part of it. If people with family and kids, it's a good place for to raise a family. It
Yeah,
truly is.
it's
Mhm.
nice. And it really is centrally located. You can go anywhere from Arlington in 20 minutes. So it's
That's right.
just a good deal. You can go to Fort Worth, you can go to South Lake, you can go to Grapevine. We're just centrally located, and I do like that. So tell me about your journey into your profession, being a hairdresser. What made you decide that you love doing hair?
Good question. Well, I mean, actually, I have six children. I have three boys and three girls. So that in itself, I've basically been a hairstylist all of my life. Well, I've always loved doing hair. And so having three boys and three girls, I'm always into hair and have to keep their hair up. With my three boys, I took them to the barbershop for years and I started noticing, I said, wait a minute, I can do this.
Mhm.
And so I cut hair and I do braids, I do locks. I mean, any kind of hair. Hair to me is an expression, and all of us want to express ourselves. And with hairstyling, there's the beauty of being able to express yourself in any way that you want and any way that you choose. I always tell my clients, I say, you all are the real artists. I can make it happen for you. A lot of times I'll say, send me a picture of your preferred hairstyle. I love the way that we have internet nowadays because we can just type it in and pull up a picture and have our favorite style, and you come on to Ameenah Styles and I can make it happen for you.
So, so where is your shop located?
It is centrally located in Arlington, Texas. It's off Cooper and Colorado. And actually, I am a business within a business. The our business is called Toasted Road Braid and Lock Bar. and it is near Parks Mall. It is about 2 miles north of Parks Mall.
That's excellent. You got a good location. It's very busy. It's high traffic and everything over there. So
Yes.
tell me about products. What products are really good for us that you feel like, and when I say us, I mean African American hair,
Yes.
because our hair is unique. It can be kinky, it can be straight like mine. Um,
Absolutely.
what's some good products that we can use if we're shampooing our hair at home?
Good question. And that's very relevant, and it always depends on the client. One thing that I do when I have a client in the chair, I always do a hair analysis, because some of us, with the variety of the hair and the different coil patterns that we have, some people have oily hair, some people have dry hair. If one has oily hair or has locks, they don't want a whole lot of buildup. So you want to be easy on products. Then those of us who have, maybe we have processed hair, relaxed hair, color in our hair, then we want to use light products. One thing that I always refer to, one thing that we have going on a lot today, is alopecia issues. I work with alopecia issues, and one product that I refer often is black castor oil. It's very good. You can take it in the areas where you have weakness in growing or hair follicles that seem to be clogged. It's a good place to put your castor oil. And so
Okay.
those are good. And then some people like to go organic with their locks. Some people uh don't want too much product in their hair, keeping their hair clean. When I'm shampooing, the key is keeping those follicles clean. And so keeping the hair washed. Back in the day, they used to feel like, well, maybe if I don't wash the hair, it'll lock up easy. But now uh, we are evolving, and we realize that in order for our hair to grow healthy, we need to keep our hair shampooed. So that's one of the most important services, that we provide.
I used to shampoo my hair every day, and this hairdresser told me do not do that. But I would put leave-in conditioner in it, and she said that's what's saving your hair. Now I don't do that now because when I was doing that, I was twisting my hair.
Yes.
So is that like not recommended that you shampoo your hair every single day? And if it's not recommended, why?
And that's a good question. And dealing with ethnic hair, you have ethnic hair and you also have straight hair. With straight hair, their hair tends to build up all more. So they can go maybe every other day and washing their hair. But with our hair, shampooing, we have to understand, is a stripping process. So you're taking away. And she did explain to you in a good fashion that the leave-in conditioner was saving your hair, because what we understand as cosmetologists is that you actually strip the hair, which is taking all the oils and debris out. And then when you condition, you're putting it back in. So you're actually destroying to build back up. And that's what these products many times are all about.
Okay, all right. So then you say you do the locks, and that is just so very, very popular today. How long does it take for you, like if you were to do a lock on me
Yeah.
today, how long would that take?
Okay, an example, let's say for instance, Sheila, if you wanted to do some starter locks, it may take a good 3 hours. And then after that, what you'll end up doing is you'll do maintenance. You don't want to relock extremely often. You can go an entire 2 months. You can wash your hair within that time, but the retwist maybe within 2 months you come and it probably will take maybe 2.5 hours. But that includes all the detox, because you want to do a good thorough clarifying wash of the hair when it's locked, because you don't want oils and debris to build up within the lock, because a lock really is just a tangling of the hair. That's basically what it's doing. Our hair is curly and curly, and so the hair is tangling within itself. So it's basically the forever braid, and that's why people love them, because they can look just as beautiful as the fox braid. And fox is just meaning that you're using extensions in the hair. But with locks, it's your own hair, and it's the forever braid. And it, like I said, it can look just as beautiful, and you can part it in various ways.
Okay. So
Yeah,
tell me about braids. It's very, very popular now. How
absolutely.
do you take care of your hair when you're getting it braided? Because a lot of times people would get their hair braided and then like around the edges it would start to break out. So
Yeah,
how do you wear braids and then but maintain the little fine baby hair that's probably not as strong as
right.
your regular hair? Tell me
Yeah.
how do you get those braids and still take care of that?
Yes. You always want to be open and honest with your client. Client cosmetology is a relationship. So it's good to let them know. Many times they'll ask you, are you tender head? And you can let them know that you have fine baby hair. You can tell them to just kind of be gentle on the edges, because there is techniques that cosmetologists use to grip the hair without pulling the hair from the follicle. If you go home and you can see beads, like little bumps, that means it's too tight. That means the hair is being actually pulled from the follicle, and what that will do is activate alopecia, and that's why over time you will see girls hair thinning here. I know that we love the edges in 2025. They are very beautiful. It's trendy, but we have to be careful, because putting a lot of stress, once again, that is baby hair, and it's very sensitive, and you just don't want the alopecia. In the long run, you love that full line of hair. Mhm.
So do you recommend the false baby hair that you see at the the false baby hair that you can just stick on there? How do you feel about that? Tell
Hey,
me.
hey, sometimes I have to say this, as black women, the struggle is real. So, we look, you do what you got to do, because at the end of the day, what's our goal is we want to look beautiful. And sometimes, things happen in this day and time, Sheila, we got all kind of medications. Medications are taking our hair out, just different health issues that are going on within the body, different hormones. We go through menopause, and just different hormone levels. It's just like when a woman is pregnant, when her hormones are imbalanced, she got all this beautiful hair growth, and then what happens? Sometimes postpartum, she'll actually lose that hair. So, if we gotta put a fake baby edge on for that special event, hey, work what you got,
Okay. Okay. So it
I'm
doesn't
all
pull your
for it.
hair out or anything like that when you use it.
Well, and many cosmetologists do not recommend, they have quick weaves as opposed to sew-ins. A sew-in is much better for the hair, because, and one thing is technique. An example, if I put glue in my hair, if I don't know how to take that glue out properly, then again, this is sensitive hair. I'm going to be pulling on that hair follicle. And the more I pull, it's just like getting waxes. If I keep getting waxes and I keep pulling at that root, I'm going to weaken that root. And
Mhm.
that's what we don't want to do, to maintain our hairline and not to have that hair loss.
So I have a question here from Joy. She
Okay.
said, "Where do you get false baby hair?"
I know. I'm not totally sure. I mean, hey,
they
we can,
have it at, they have it at the beauty supply.
yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah, you can
That's
get
a
it
good
at the
question,
beauty
Joy.
supply. That is so funny. So do you do the little braids and the big braids? Tell me the difference. What effects does the little braids have versus the big braids on our hair?
Again, and that's a good question. And me and my coworker, we were just talking about that today. The price range is what you have to look at. Because braiding hair is time consuming, many times it can be costly. For a traditional box braid, it could take anywhere, depending on the braider, between 3.5 to 5 hours. The longer that hair is, that can add on another 2 hours. The smaller those boxes are, that can add on more hours. So time time is money. So the more time it takes, Sheila, the more expensive the braid will be. An example, if you have a traditional box braid, one of the lowest that you may find is maybe 100. But if you get the smaller braids, that price actually doubles because it's just taking you longer. So you may go, if you have the traditional medium-sized boxes, you may have 75 braids. Whereas if you have the smaller boxes, it may be 175. And really and truly, when it comes to you, I mean, the the person seeking the beauty has to consider every aspect. Okay, number one, you're gonna put braids in your hair, and yes, it's a lasting, it's a beautiful style. How about when it comes time to take it down? I have many clients that come in and they just want a takedown because it can take anywhere from 2 hours, especially if they're the smaller braids. It can take anywhere from 2 hours to take those braids down. So that is a service that is often provided, but the smaller the braid, of course, the longer that it will take, the more tedious that process.
So do you recommend people, have you seen people try to cut them out?
And
Seen
that's
that?
fine. That is the technique. That is the process for taking down braids. You just want to make sure if you have, like an example, your shoulder length, Sheila. So you just want to make sure if you have braids, make sure you cut past that shoulder. Because there are times when somebody is helping their little niece, and their niece or nephew is helping them take their braids out, and they'll cut too short. So you'll get you a fine little haircut.
Mhm.
you know, if you cut above where your hairline stops.
So okay, so you do braids, you do so say tell me everything you do again. You do braids,
Oh, I do silk
base front.
press,
Okay.
butterfly locks, dreadlocks,
What's the
afro.
butterfly locks? What's the difference between a butterfly lock and a dreadlock? What's the difference?
Oh, good question. Basically, it's called a fox lock. So us girls that want to get butterfly locks, we may be trying out the look of locks before we actually enter into that journey, because locks is a commitment. You're taking a step, and so to get the fox locks is to kind of see the finished product, how locks will look on you before you
Mhm.
actually enter into that journey.
Oh,
Mhm.
that's nice. Is it cheaper to get the fox locks? No, it's not cheaper, huh?
Well, actually, a fox lock, it may be comparable to like a box braid.
Okay.
So yeah, not too expensive, because usually butterfly locks are the shorter length, and so they're pretty reasonable. That's a pretty reasonable um service to do. One service that a lot of times I would say is just kind of an expense, like I must have money to burn, is when we getting the braids to the ankles. Because
Because when you want to be a
the
real super
musician is
girl
gonna
with the
charge you
long,
for that.
okay, okay. So just get ready. Just pull out the bank, right?
Exactly. But hey, if it's beautiful, and that's what you want, we're willing to provide that.
All right. So you do lock sprays, silk press, anything else?
Oh yeah, I do lock repairs, facials, pixie cuts, calls, beginner locks, two strand twist. I work with short hair. I work with children's hair. So a lot of times we got little girls, but sometimes mom is like, I'd rather send my baby to the beauty shop.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've had 2 year olds. I can get them calm. Because it's all about being able to relate to whatever client that you have. Older ladies. So passion twist, wig installations, goddess braids. So yeah,
Very nice.
sets.
Huh?
I even probably about maybe about 2 weeks ago, I had an older client, and she was coming from her assisted living, and she got a French roll. French rolls back in the day, and even some ladies are going back to finger waves. I do finger
Mhm.
waves and things like that, and perms. A lot of us ladies, we are enjoying this this organic natural era that we're in, but some ladies, they are still enjoying the perms, and there are products out there and they can be just as beautiful, you know.
So one thing that sparked my interest, you said lock repair.
Lock repair.
Why would you need that?
Oh, absolutely. Many times, sometimes if you, locticians are different. So if they're using techniques that are causing root thinning, I'm not sure, Sheila, you may have been out and you may have seen someone with locks and their roots actually look thinner than the actual lock. Well,
Mm.
that's actually not supposed to be. And sometimes it's our technique. Sometimes if you style locks too much, all the pulling on the lock in the long run, it hurts the lock and therefore requires repair. Okay.
Okay.
And then sometimes just maintenance. If you're not wearing a bonnet or sleeping on a silk, if you're sleeping on a cotton pillow, sometimes lint can attract, once again, your hair is tangling. So if it's surrounded by cotton, it'll tangle in there. And then sometimes when they go in there to get the lint or something out, they may be pulling the hair. And so it creates gaps, and those kind of things need repair. And some of the common methods that we use are like with crochet needles, you know. So there are ways to repair it,
Okay. So
It
we
just,
have another question.
yeah.
All right, Miss Joy. What about soft scalp?
Well, soft scalp is just like rockheads. they just need they just need tender loving care. When shampooing, when we do the scalp analysis, we are kind of moving around, and especially when we start shampooing, we can tell the difference between movable scalps. And so you just treat each client respectively.
I never heard of that. Tell me what that is.
With soft scalp, you can tell the difference in scalp. Some people's heads are tough and stern, and then some they're malleable. They're malleable, so they're sensitive. It's some even adults whose soft spots don't close up, but you just be
Oh,
careful.
like a baby soft spot is what you're saying. Kind of like,
Well, no, actually, the actual scalp can feel like it can
good.
be malleable, like
I
squeeze.
understand.
You can squeeze it.
Yeah,
That's the easiest way to say it. Yeah, Sheila,
yeah.
you can squeeze the scalp, and as you're massaging and manipulating during the shampoo, you are becoming one with that scalp and seeing what you're going to need to do.
This is good. Keep the questions coming, Joey, or anybody if you have a question. So, okay. So, what you're doing perms? Which products are you using for perms?
Oh, you have Mazzani design essentials, and some of these are products that only your cosmetologist will be able to purchase, but they're more and more they're allowing some of those products to be sold over the counter. Like at Jenny's, I have seen Mazzani, which is a very good product. And so those are some of the common ones that cosmetologists would recommend. And it's just important to make sure to have a deep conditioning treatment. Once again, when we perm our hair, we're breaking it down, and we use those deep conditioners to just build it back up and it's basically putting back what we took away. But the reason why we took it away is because, we are seeking that softer look, that's straight, you know and
So,
that's okay. But you just have to make sure that you put those deep treatments back into that hair.
okay. So, when you have a perm, how often? I mean, if we're curling our hair every day, it's not a good deal.
Yeah.
You
Well,
say,
you have to. That's a good question, Sheila. Because right there, what you have to look at is damage on damage. Let's even add in our color. We love our color. I have color in my hair, but if all, whether it's chemical or heat, these are processes that are breaking down the hair. So the more breaking down you do, the more building up you have to do. So if you're using the heat, you got to make sure that you going to invest in those good heat protectors like Chi. they're kind of expensive, but it's important to keep those heat protectors on there. I used to curl my hair every day, but I made sure that it was moisturized, and during that time I would actually rewash around every week to keep the hair healthy and strong, because the more heat, the more products, chemical products that we use, whether it's color, is breaking down the hair and it's causing it to be softer. Our hair, especially if you have 4C, I call it energetic. It's energetic. And that's why, they term it relaxer, because our hair
Mhm.
is very energetic. So you are breaking it down, breaking it down.
So what happened to the Jerry curl? That used to be such a great product. What happened to it?
Sheila, look, confession, I used, before I started my lock journey, I had me a Jerry curl. Look, I probably am the only one in the city that had the Jerry curl, other than a few of my elder sisters. But I'll tell you, the reason why I tried the Jerry curl is because I was trying to come out of doing the relaxers, the full relaxers, because basically a Jerry curl, you have three stages. You have our all natural hair, then the second one is the Jerry curl, and then, well, you have also the activator one too, and then the Jerry curl, and then the full relaxer. So basically, when you put a Jerry curl on, you're reconstructing the coil. So if you have a very tight coil, it may go from a 4C to a 2C. So you're lengthening out the coil. And then when you take the roller and put the hair on rods, and you put the neutralizers and everything into the hair, then it's gonna retain whatever rod you put on there, whether it's a tiny rod or a medium sized rod, is going to retain that coil pattern.
So
But yes, a
do you have anybody
lot of
requesting
people
that
say that
these
again,
days?
Sheila.
Do you have anybody requesting a Jerry curl these days? It's,
I don't know. It's very few, far and in between. Some of our from our other cultures, that come here, they may have a few Jerry curls, but that's not a request that you get often. But we times they do evolve, so things that were 80s, they come back for some reason. I'm not sure if the Jerry curl will, because in our age, we are, everybody's clean from the pandemic. We're clean, so we are trying to get away, I guess, from the oiliness or something. It reminds us of something that's not sanitary or something.
right, right, right.
But look, we're in the age of less is more, but they come back around, so it's good as a cosmetologist to know about all the times. You need to be able to be ready for the past, present, and future, because trends
Understood.
do come back.
Yeah. Okay, I do have another question. How can I help my daughter get started with working at a salon? She's licensed but not working for a salon yet.
Okay, let's start hustling. Let's start hustling. Let baby girl know she can get her little cards done. One thing that I would encourage her to do, she can go around to salons and she can say, "Hi, my name is Joy, and I wanted to just see if you all needed any help." And her being licensed, you know, they people are always looking for licensed cosmetologists, you know indeed. But it's really good for her to get out there. Social media is one of those things that she can use, but just going around to her local salons, giving out her card and saying, "Do you all need any help?" And a lot of times, if there are chairs available, they'll let her start that day. Or they'll say, "Do you want to start next week?" Because many times there are salons locally that have chairs available, and they can be rented. And sometimes first week's rent is free, and then as long as she's consistent with that rent. And I would suggest that she builds up a little bit of clientele, and then going to the salon because she'll have something to take with her, and she'll be able to afford those rental fees that she does incur.
So
Mhm.
do they have like shampoo girl jobs anymore like they used to? Remember back in the day they would have the shampoo girl who
Yeah.
would do all the shampooing and then the stylist would do the rest. So is there a need for that in the industry these days or no?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Because many times senior stylists they get backed up. And so the shampoo girl, that's actually a excellent way to start and get some experience and get a foothold in the salon is to start washing that hair, because the shampoo is actually a very important uh is one of the most important services,
It
and
is.
it takes time. And so if I am a senior stylist and I have a shampoo girl, I can get more heads done in a day.
Yeah.
And so that's good. And so that I have seen that, and they help out in the shop. Can you go shampoo her while I do a retwist or put someone under rods, so yes, and that's definitely a good way to get started in the industry.
So are you doing very many pressing curls? Remember back in the day?
Actually,
Way
actually, that is a very good question.
curl, pressing
With
curl.
Yes, with silk press, more and more women are saying I want a few curls with it. So once I press the hair and it comes out so pretty and silky, I mean, the silk press today, the products that are on the market, the flat irons that are out there, I mean, your silk press, it will almost look just as good. You will not be able to tell that you don't have a perm on your hair. But yes, more and more ladies are saying, I want a few curls, and curls always have been associated with femininity or delicacy. So it does, it looks most beautiful when they add a few curls in there.
That's good. So you say you do facials. I interrupted you. So you do facials.
Yep.
And what else? Is that it?
Facials. Actually, once you are done with cosmetology, Joy may know this, but you are certified in hair, skin, and nails. And
Okay.
so, mani pedis, knowing how to do all of that. Many times, young women, young men that come out of cosmetology, they fall in love with a certain field. Like some girls decide, hey, I just want to be a loctician, or some girls, I just want to work with relaxers or perms. Some love color, just doing color. There are salons that just specialize in hair color, or some even fall in love with barbering because that's part of the program too, and that's one of my favorite services is the combo styles. Like I love to do the fades, the girl fades and the guy fades. The guy fades when they come and do their retwist. I love doing that because I feel like it's a one-stop shop, and when you leave, you ready for whatever, So, and I do eyebrows, yeah.
So
So
do you do it with tweezers or do you do it with thread or do you do it with wax?
I'm able to do all of them, but many times I can just use my T liner, or I can use my everyday over the counter tweezers, you know, and my mini scissors, and just shape those up so it'll go with that fresh hairstyle they have.
So what's your minimum price range and maximum price range?
Look, my minimum price wage is nothing. No, I'm just teasing. But hey, I love referrals, so I always give my clients discounts. I really believe that, a closed fist, nothing's going out, nothing's coming in. So, I work with my people. I do all kind of people's hair, when I was in cosmetology school, we went out to shelters where we um gave haircuts and little hairstyles as services, and so I work with my clients. Some clients, they're on a budget, and I try, to work with them, because we want to look beautiful, but we don't want to break the bank, and so especially if I have, return clients that come see me every 2 weeks, we work out, specials and things like that, and so I think my lowest price service is probably eyebrows. I'll tell them, give me $10, and a lot of times a la carte services. So, like, let's say, for instance, if I have a client that comes in and they want a retwist, a haircut, some color, well, all of those additional a la carte services, they, they are usually discounted, so that the overall price will not be outrageous.
Okay,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's good. And then plus, guys, look, ladies, this lady's personality. I mean, it's like when I met her, I'm like, oh my gosh, she is so sweet. I gotta interview her. I gotta do this. I have to do this. So yeah, it's just been a pleasure, and it feels like I've been knowing you all along. That
Yeah,
part. Yeah,
yeah.
that's something when you feel like you've been knowing each other. So tell me about your Facebook and your YouTube.
Yes. And I mentioned this a little earlier, Sheila, is I started out as Ameenah Blogs on YouTube and I got about 800 subscribers and I was on there talking about dating and relationships, honey, and sex and everything else. And so now I have another channel, which is my Ameenah Styles. And Ameenah Styles is dedicated to the work that I do in the salon. So, you'll see my work on the silk presses and the two-strand twist and the various braids, facials, manis and petties. So yes, tune in and subscribe, and you can see the work that is done there, and it's on my card, and so I'm also on Facebook. um I show my work through Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. So
Okay, let's see here.
yes,
Facebook. So if you want to see exactly what she's doing and how she does it, and then she's got products that she's recommending.
yes.
Yeah.
This young lady, she
So
these
for
are
that person that think, okay, I think I want to be a hairdresser. I love doing hair. What is the first, huh?
go ahead, Sheila.
So I wanted to ask if there's someone that's listening that's contemplating being a hairdresser, what is the very first step?
Repeat that, Sheila.
I said, if it's someone that's listening that is contemplating being a hairdresser, what's the very first step?
Oh, the very first step. Certification. Certification empowers you. Sometimes people want to see that piece of paper. Certification is going to educate you. Not only many times when we go to cosmetology school, a lot of us love hair. That's why we're going to get certified. But a lot of us love hair, but you still need the theory behind. You need to understand the science behind hair. It's not just hair. What is hair? These are made up of keratin proteins. So when I go into the beauty supply, I have a whole new appreciation for the items that are on the shelf. It's not just a product. I want to know the ingredients in the product. I need to know how this is affecting my hair. So I need to know chemical structures. I need to understand anatomy, physiology. So definitely certification is important because you're going to get the education you need, and just do what you love. If you love doing hair, if you love playing with your Barbie dolls and doing your friends' hair, hey, it's a very good industry. It's in demand, and you can meet people if you're a social person. I know y'all seen the movie Barbershop and Beauty Shop. That's real. That's real. People come to salons not only to look beautiful, but they come there for the experience. Many times people are coming, they want to pamper themselves, and me time is so important. Hey, because how can you take care of anybody else unless you take care of you? I have a
Absolutely.
sign in one of my in one of my boutiques, and it says, invest in your hair. It's the crown that you never take off, you know.
Oh, that's good.
Absolutely. So it's worth it. It's worth it to go get our hair done and to invest in ourselves. And so get out there, you know, find that stylist that you love and that makes you feel like the most beautiful you know, and stay with
Okay. So for the person that's contemplating, what is the one thing they should never do? That you maybe you've seen people do certain things and maybe you just tell us what should they never do.
wear a wig. No, I'm just playing. No. And Sheila, when you say one thing that you should never do in regards to hair,
Yeah, just if you want to be a hairdresser, what is like a mistake maybe somebody makes that they shouldn't or
is uh competition is important, but compete with yourself, you know. We all start somewhere. You know, if you never get out there and try new hairstyles, if you never get out there and get around those who are skilled, you can never grow. So give yourself time to grow, be patient with yourself. You're going to see stylists out there that are A plus phenomenal. You'll get there. Just hang around them. Hang around them. Ask them questions. Many senior stylists, they don't mind sharing. A lot of times they don't gatekeep, you know, because a lot of time once you get your clients and clients start rolling in, you're gonna be tired. So it's plenty of money out there to go around. It's plenty of clients to go around. You know, at Toasted Rose, we share clients, you know. So, you know, everybody wins in this industry, you know.
that is so good. So any final words of encouragement for
Just
someone that I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah, any words of encouragement.
Well, to everybody, of course, just stay beautiful, you know, and one way to do that is, you know, take care of your hair, take care of your body, take care of your beauty, take care of you, you know, because that's what it's about, you know. I mentioned earlier, you know, if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of anybody else.
Right. Okay, so now give me the name of your shop again.
I am Ameenah Styles, but what you want to Google is Toasted Rose because there are about 4 or 5 stylists within that one shop, but Toasted Rose is the beauty salon, and I operate as Ameenah Styles in that beauty salon.
Okay. All right.
So Google Toasted Rose.
Let me see if I can find that real quick before we go. Rose. Is it on Facebook?
Yes, but it's easiest to Google it, and then they'll it pulls up the website, the directions, and on the website you can automatically schedule an appointment, and then they have a salon pricing down there. Once you become a client, you and the stylist um can work out payment plans, how, you know, whatever your needs are, we're willing to meet that. But you want to Google Toasted Rose in Arlington, Texas.
Okay. It's Toasted Rose, Braid, and Lock Bar, right? Okay.
Toasted Rose, braid, and lock bar.
Okay. All right.
And
So
they serve mimosas on the weekends.
y'all be
You know, they be in there, Sheila, talking about last braid. Let's get a shot. Look, I don't drink. I don't even know how to drink, but they be enjoying it. They got snack bars and water. So it's a good experience. It's at a wonderful location, you know, and I believe if you come there, you will return and you'll tell your friends about it.
okay. And it's at 2607 South Cooper Street, Suite 111.
That's it.
All right. So here's the website, everyone. And here is the address, if I can get it to pull up. Well, you know what? This has been fun.
Yes, it have, Sheila.
I
You
wish we
are a
could.
pleasure.
Yeah, we're gonna have to think of some other reason to come back and talk. We'll talk about something.
I know.
Before we go though, What made you decide to stop doing the dating videos?
Oh, I wanted my YouTube channel to be a memoir, something that my children could look back on. So I wanted it to be um wisdom for them. And so it overspilled into a whole community of people that I began talking to. And so I love that YouTube is retrospective. In other words, I can go see videos that were posted 10 years ago.
Hmm.
So right now, I feel the content that was in my heart that I wanted to share with young women. I felt that I came to a cap at a certain point.
Okay.
And so I'm able to spin off from there, you know. But I have videos, some, 5 years old, but it's relevant information, you
Hmm.
know. So as I encourage you to come see me as Ameenah at Ameenah Styles, I also encourage you to check out the Ameenah Blogs YouTube channel because it is a wealth of information for young women on there.
And I did. I posted the link. So
Yes, yes.
yeah, I posted the link. So Portia says, great discussion. Have enjoyed very much.
Um,
Awesome, Portia. I'm so glad. Well, all right. Well, we appreciate you, Miss Amina, and we appreciate everyone who is watching. Those who are watching, we ask that you would tag and share. If you're watching on demand, go ahead and share something that's been said today that can be a blessing to someone else. So I hope you guys have a great day. And this has been Touching You Talk Show. Have a good one.
Bye bye.